one of the big stories on the 405 diary has to do with the former president. His lawyers are expected to argue for a protracted postponement of the arms deal corruption trial now that he's been placed on medical parole. Zuma, who, as you know, has insisted on being in court physically for the special plea to have lead prosecutor Billy Downer recused, is not expected in the High Court sitting in Pietermaritzburg today. Instead, his lawyers are also expected to explain why the former head of state has refused to allow doctors from the National Prosecuting Authority to examine him and assess his health. Let's distill all these issues for you. Bring in Ziyanda Ngcobo, who's our senior politics reporter, live from just outside the Pietermaritzburg High Court for us today. And Ziyanda, there are so many moving parts around this, but the take-home it almost feels is that there's no way this trial is expected to start anytime soon, given just how many issues need to be ironed out before then.
Absolutely, Ayanda, and you know, there's no better way to put it, that there are so many layers to this. The first thing is, of course, the fact that the former president has refused to allow doctors from the National Prosecuting Authority to examine his health. And this is also placed against the backdrop, Ayanda, of the fact that there's still controversy around him being granted medical parole. We know organizations such as the DA and AfriForum have actually now taken the decision to place the former president on medical parole on review in a court of law. And here, for this particular arms deal matter, Ayanda, his health is also a subject of scrutiny, where now the former president, in the last two hearings had insisted that he wants to physically come to this court and also be given an opportunity to personally almost cross-examine Billy Downer. But now, if you have been released on medical parole, which only happens under two circumstances, it's either you're terminally ill or physically incapacitated, what does this mean? Which is why then it's expected that his lawyers will be arguing or will be seeking to have a protracted postponement. In the midst of all of this, Ayanda, Zuma's lawyers had also sent a letter to President Cyril Ramaphosa on the 19th of August, raising the issue of they believe that Billy Downer leaked the medical reports of the former president to the media, and you'll recall that in that medical report, it was said that he's extremely ill and it would take around 6 months for him to return to good health. The president then also responded on the 25th of August, saying they've received the letter of concern regarding the prosecution's team, in particular Billy Downer, and has referred the matter now to Justice Minister Ronald Lamola. Another layer then as well, Ayanda, is the fact that just yesterday the former president released a statement through his foundation, where also speaking on the outcomes of that rescission application. So plenty of moving parts that are likely to culminate how matters and proceedings take place in this court this morning, Ayanda.
Absolutely. And typically, Ziyanda, we also know that whenever there's any kind of movement at the court where you're at today, it's accompanied by movement outside of court, although in the recent past that's kind of diminished. What do we know about any message, if any at all, from Zuma supporters about their solidarity today with the former president, even if we're expecting a postponement?
At this stage, Ayanda, it doesn't seem like there will be any supporters of the former president, because we're not anticipating that he himself will be in court today. As you'll know, he's been granted medical parole and his whereabouts are not clear at this stage. Is he back at Nkandla? Has he now, the assessments that he was undergoing, has he concluded them? Or is he still at the Escort Correctional Facility? These are all the things that are unclear at this particular point in time, Ayanda. And so we're not expecting large crowds outside this particular court, and we're also expecting a postponement to likely take place today.
Ziyanda Ngcobo, thanks very much indeed for that quick snapshot of what is likely to unfold today. No doubt we'll be speaking to you throughout the course of the morning. For now, thanks very much indeed. Ziyanda Ngcobo, live to us there from just outside the Pietermaritzburg High Court.